Hi, my name's Hyslop and I'm a co-founder at The Gist, and this is the Learn to Play Golf series with the PGA of Canada. And today I'm learning how to chip with Emma.
So let's start just watching you hit a couple of chip shots.
Okay.
So this is definitely one where on the golf course you would definitely have the option to putt it.
Okay.
But for the sake of kind of trying to work on your technique a little bit, we'll work with the chipping and I just kind of want to see what you naturally do. So you've got a sand wedge and a pitching wedge there. You just sort of choose whichever one you feel the most comfortable with.
Now these shots, I never really know what I'm doing.
Okay.
Or what I'm aiming for, but I'll just do what I would normally do.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens.
Yeah. That's okay. Does that happen a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. One more for me.
That happens all the time.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So if you stand just here for me.
Okay.
So a lot of people think that with chipping you have to stand really open to the target, right? Which might be the case if we're going to open the club face right up and hit a giant flop shot. But for something like this where it's small, we're really just trying to loft it, you know, just onto the green and actually kind of let it roll out that way. We don't need such an open stance.
Okay.
So the way that I like to teach people how to chip, just as sort of a basic chip shot that you can use in a lot of different situations with a lot of different clubs, is actually to make your chipping style a little bit more like your putting stroke.
Oh.
Okay, so we're actually going to get a little bit more square. You're going to get nice and close to the golf ball. And all you're going to do from here, so now you've basically created, instead of this, we've created a bit more of this.
So you put it on the toe a bit?
Yep, on the toe a little bit, which will just happen from standing the shaft up a little bit, right? And all we're really trying to do from there is make a putting stroke and keep the relationship between the club head and your chest.
Okay.
Okay, so what we saw from you was not a lot of body movement and kind of this attempt to get it going that way. Mm-hmm. We want to feel like the pendulum motion, a little bit like when we're putting, is the same thing that we're going to do here. So all you're doing is rocking back and forth and just trying to pop the ball up. Okay, and we can basically take that same motion and apply it to different clubs. We take a club with less loft if we're going to a pin that's further away, and we now have the same technique, which is really simple and not a lot of moving parts, and it can kind of achieve multiple different things for us. Does that make sense?
Totally.
Okay, so you jump in here for me.
I've never had anyone explain chipping to me, so this is great.
We never want, a little bit like we talked about in our full swing, we never want your arms to outrace your body.
Right.
We want them to be working as a unit. So if you imagine that you had like a flashlight on your chest, mm-hmm. When I set up, that flashlight would be pointing down at my club head, right? I don't want to go like this, and all of a sudden, chest or flashlight here, club head here, and then same thing on the way through. I want to keep that flashlight pointing at my club head the whole way through.
Okay.
Right?
And it's just like a little pop.
A little bit more weight on the lead side, and then you're basically just trying, again, imagine there's a little T in front of the ball, mm-hmm. and you're just trying to get that brush of the grass.
And how far back should it be in my stance?
I'm fine with, you know, call it maybe on your right toe.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, I love that.
Like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's more of just, it's going to pop up and then just run out a little bit. Oh, pretty good. Right, that's to see how the chest went up. Mm-hmm. We need the chest to stay working down and through. So when I finish, my chest is actually still pointing more so towards the ground than the sky.
And do you fully open your club face?
Mm-mm. Nope. So in particular situations, yep.
Right.
But the only reason that we open a club face is to get loft on the golf ball. When we're hitting a shot like this, I mean, if there was a tree stump in front of us, then we would have to obviously loft the ball. But there's no reason that we need to increase the loft on this golf club. It already has 56 or 60 degrees of loft on it anyway. Mm-hmm. We don't need any more for this shot. So all you're doing is basically taking the square club face, lifting that toe up a little bit, and then just trying to make a little pendulum motion back and forth with the shoulders. Good. All right, and keeping it working. So do that again for me and kind of keep it working under my hand. Yeah. Good.
Put the ball there. And
I mean, that was your best one. We'll just do that each time.
Yeah.
Right, so the emphasis is, again, on the down. So if I didn't need my right leg at all, right, it's simply just kind of there for balance, and I'm trying to feel like I'm working down and through the shot. Right, so there's none of
my,
that.
You're testing my little legs.
So even try this one, yeah. It's part of the workout program. So actually on this one, I want you to take your right foot and just put it back on your toe. Right, so it's just sort of there for balance, but we're not trying to lift the ball again.
Right.
We are trying to brush down on that grass. Yep. Lovely.
Oh, in the hole.
Oh, really, really good. Really good. So keeping that chest moving through with you. Good job. That one might go in. Oh, excellent.
This is so different from how I've been chipping, and it makes so much more sense to me.
Good. So you can stand now on 2 feet, but just prioritize
the
pressure on this one. Yeah.
I might just be walking around the golf course.
You can.
Like that.
I mean, I have definitely done that before, and when I'm playing, sometimes
practice.
you get in the habit
Right.
of, again, sort of like we see with the full swing sometimes, where I want the ball to go up, so I need to do that.
Right.
But what we really want to do is we want that compression more down so that the ball can roll up the club face. If you come into it like this, well, there's not a whole lot of technology here to help you in terms of lifting the ball down to help the ball go up.
Amazing.
Yeah,
It's
really,
hard,
really good.
but-
That's fine. So you'll start to learn, just like with putting, there's a tempo to it, there's a rhythm to it. And, if we go from the shorter pin to the longer pin, or how much green you have to work with, will dictate how far back and through you need to take it.
Right.
But the motion itself remains really simple. Nice.
Fun.
So let's try now going to the longer one. All right, so same, what club do you have there?
I have a
The
sand, I
sand
think.
wedge?
Yes.
So what we're gonna actually do is take something with a little bit less loft
Okay.
and do the exact same motion, okay?
Great, thank you.
So the less loft on the golf club, the lower it's gonna come off and the more it's gonna
The
run.
more it's gonna roll.
It breaks obviously a little to the left, so we're gonna aim,
Bit right.
yeah, a bit right.
Oops.
Really nice, that's good. Right, didn't get it high enough, but you
No.
see how such a small movement is all you need.
Right.
It doesn't have to be, now don't get me wrong, there are plenty of complicated chip shots and this wouldn't necessarily work if we had to hit over a bunker.
Right.
But for anything sort of in and around the green area, it just takes out a lot of the guesswork and a lot of the moving parts. Really good. Probably literally need to aim like,
Way this way.
yeah, like at the blue car next to the white car.
That's my car.
Oh yeah, your car. At the wheel of your car. Good. I mean, I
Wow.
suppose if I just caddy for you for every round that you play,
Hey,
we'll be good to go.
then I'll be going to the show.
So we can still use the same technique.
We can.
We can.
Oh.
You don't have to. We can use a little bit more of the bounce of the golf club to work its way through. So anything, and these wedges are a little bit different than your standard wedges, but see how much lower the sort of edge of the golf club is here than the leading edge of the club. Right, so this is where if you were to open this golf club wide up like you were trying to do on the short grass, so essentially we don't have a lot of grass to work with, and I open the club up, look how hard it becomes to actually ever hit the club face. Right, so whenever you want to add loft to the golf club, you have to ensure that there's enough grass underneath to actually, for this to be able to get underneath and the ball to be able to hit the face. Right, so that's the same thing if you're in a bunker and it's rained and the sand is really hard. If you open the club face up, you're going to scull it 10 times out of 10. Right, so really making sure that we're using this correctly. But what this is going to help you do, this is called the bounce of the golf club. This is actually designed to help work through the rough, right? So that the club doesn't dig. If it didn't have any of this bounce, the club would essentially just dig into the turf every time.
Cool.
Right? This here is designed to kind of glide through the rough a little bit more. So we're going to set up a little bit, still nice and neutral. We're not going to open this way. We're still going to set up nice and neutral, right? But I want you to kind of feel that nice pendulum, but the down aspect becomes so much more important. Right. Because you've got all this rough to get through, so the more you try to lift it, the more grass it's going to get between your club and the ball. Right, we're trying to pop it up. Yeah, so a little bit more kind of acceleration through, or prioritizing the acceleration through. Okay.
And my grip?
No. Good, keep the chest moving through the shot. Yeah, that's better. And this is where you would imagine that you've got the ball's actually below and in front.
And my weight's on my front foot.
Yeah, because you're on a little bit of a slope here, you can kind of work with the slope. I never like you to fight against it, but on the flat ground, you're always going to favor the lead side, or your left side.
That makes sense.
Very good. Ooh, nice. Right, so you can kind of see how the bounce of the club just wants to glide through the rough for you. Let the club do the work, as they say. Very nice.
Party.
Maybe we are going to the LPGA tour after all.
We are.
Good. God, between the pickleball tour and the LPGA tour, we're going to be really busy.
I have never chipped this well in my life.
We go straight out for a round of golf after this?
Wow, we really should.
Really good. Okay, so let's go to the longer one now. Okay. So everything stays the same. Obviously, you just need to hit it a little bit harder. And we've got to aim kind of at the tree / your car.
Okay. Oops.
So that is a little bit of this way.
Right, I'm looking.
Yeah, keep things moving through. Just like your practice swings, yeah. So don't get too eager.
When it's further.
Yeah, exactly. Let the tempo do the work for you. Very good. The technique is excellent.
That went so high.
Yeah, and you're not going to get, so the spin comes from the dimples and the grooves kind of interacting with one another. So whenever you're hitting from the rough, the ball's never going to have any of that nice spin on it because there's too much grass interfering between the ball and the club face itself. So it's always going to land and release a little bit more. So that's something just to keep in mind, especially on this one where we're going from the rough to a firm green to a downhill slope. It really probably doesn't need to actually land any further than 2 meters onto the green, really.
Right.
Because it's going to then top spin its way down.
Interesting.
Nice. Really, really good.
I see what you mean.
So yeah,
it
see
just
how it
keeps
kind
going.
of trundles? Yeah.
Right.
Really nice. So keep the club face
straight.
Yeah, nice and open through, not shutting it down.
Keep my wrists open.
Yeah. Because if I go, okay, I'm going to hit this chip shot and I'm aiming over here, and then through
the
impact
wrist
I go like that, it's going to send it a little left. Good.
Different hole,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Well, we changed holes, right? We
yeah.
subconsciously said that to one another. Telepathically.
Telepathically. Oops. I came up.
You did come up.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's always keeping, whether you're hitting a full club off the ground or a chip shot off the ground, we're always kind of imagining not the ball as what you're trying to hit, but that thing that's sort of in front and just underneath the ground.
Right.
Because then it's kind of forces you
To
to
stay
keep the
down.
momentum going down. As soon
Right.
as you go the other way, the arms come up, the chest comes up,
Right.
and that's where that contact inconsistency stems from. Good job. Excellent. Really, really good.
Great. That feels so much better.
Perfect. Nice.
Hi, I'm Ellen Hyslop, co-founder at The Gist, and thanks to Emma, I now know how to chip. Go and find a pro near you at thepgaofcanada.com.